These are some of the Dark Age landmarks of North Bedwyn and Savernake Forest in Old English. Thonair te bracdina geeta. Thonair te wales mera. Thonair te yamot lia erste werde. Thonair out to braden leia. There cwth hades path ut lieth. Thonair on Badgen Gate. Thonair on Harefield Gate. Thonair on Thonair Chledreden Bern. Thonair on Chramesdina Gate. Thonair on Horshail Gate. Out on Birches Hall. Then on to Bedwyndon. This is not prehistoric, it's medieval, and it's what's known as a park pale, and you might see those words in Gothic lettering on your US map, and it's where we get the phrase beyond the pale. It is things are strange beyond our boundary, and the park pale, what it does, it's a legal thing to you've got to do it if you want to own parkland and have deer on it. You have to put a park pale round, and makes it absolutely clear what is your deer and what is the deer of the kings. So it also makes it quite clear to the peasants like me where we belong. But it is interesting. You can follow this boundary all the way around to make a complete circle, and what it tells us is the forest was smaller at some point, much smaller, and I'll show you on the map here. And I love these markings on OS maps, and so this shows the extent of the park at some point. It has changed size several times. We can see that from the forest perambulations. At one point it wasn't even here at all, it was across the road north of the A4. But anyway, that's the park pale. This path is, if you take this path and carry on in a straight line along it, further on down in the forest, it's called Pigsty. That's the name of this path. And in the perambulation of the forest, it talks of a swine path, a swine path. So it shows a nice continuation, really nice continuation of from the deep past of old names. It looks much more pronounced here at the bottom of the valley, which is probably still called Bagden today. Any local people know what this open Dean is today. Like I say, a couple hundred years ago, that house over there was Bagden Lodge, and Den is Denu, which is Dean, a valley. And so this is Badger's Dean. And that's the Roman road over there. It's the Roman road that comes up from Chute Causeway. I did a video there, and so did some other chaps. And it heads north to Cunetio, which is a station. It's a sort of a crossroads of Roman roads, named after the Kennet, so the Kennet is a really ancient pre-English name. So yeah, on to Thornhill next. We're going to have a look at the Wallesmere. By the way, langscape.com, who also do Saxon charters, they translate Bajan as see, I'm doing Bajan because there's an alternative. So Little Bedwyn or Little Bedwyn and Great Bedwyn spell it differently, and in one of them you have a C and a G, and in the second it's just two G's. So I'm favouring Badger, and there is a Badger attested, a person who lived called Badger, and but Landscape as an alternative identification, so it might mean beggars. You got those two G's, Beggars Dean. When I was looking at the forest perambulation of Savernake, I was surprised. It comes out of Bedwyn Common, the boundary, going clockwise, but along the bottom, basically along the bottom of the circle, and it comes to a road called the Coal Road, or the Coal Rod. And that's the Roman road that we looked at last time, and we've looked at in this video as well. And it's the one from Andover to Cuneti and Marlborough. And I was surprised to find it goes north, because some of the next waymarks are. One of them is Braden Hook, and that's north of the southerly part that I was looking at, and I thought that can't be right, because other perambulations go down to Shoot, way south of here, and it does indeed do it. It's confirmed also by other landmarks that also point this out, and we'll be going to Braden Hook in a minute. But one of the landmarks in between where it meets the Coal Road and Braden Hook is what is called the Wallesmere, and that's probably a pond. Because it's 1300, it's too late to make a sort of declaration about what Wallès means. If it was 300 years earlier, it's still difficult to work out where you come across the equivalent like that, wall. You don't know whether it means wall or it means slave or means Welsh. Joyfully, there is an earlier spelling. I just hadn't spotted it, and it rules out, certainly in my mind, it rules out Welsh or slave as being the meaning of it. And even more interestingly, it really looked like wal, which is the English equivalent of Val, as in Valhalla and Valkyrie, the victorious dead, the valorous dead. Now this is all very antiquarian. Let's all get very excited about pagan myth, but there is a slight fly in the ointment. Consulting Bosworth Toller, the Dictionary of Old English, there is another entry for wal, which is deep pond, thus deflating my excitement somewhat. Deep pond would fit beautifully with the topography, but there is a fly in that ointment too. The whole of the That's just one element of the name. The whole of the name would therefore be deep pond pond. The mare is pond. So there is some room to think it might be the valorous dead. And even more interestingly, to the south of the boundary of Bedwyn in the Anglo-Saxon period, there was a walway, which landscape believe, then they're academics from London University, believe is the dead. And I would add that Wal isn't just the dead, it tends to be the valorous dead, those slain in battle. But how would we ever decide one way or the other? Anyway, you make your own mind up. Let me know in the comments.